Morning, guys. Today, Will Smith shares with us another rule for success, one of his favorites, and Evan Carmichael's favorite as well, and that is make a choice. So, Will Smith goes on to tell us that he truly believes that by making choices, he can create anything he wants in life. He wants to represent possibility, he wants to represent the magic of what we really are through that one thing, making a choice. And I love this because for me, determination stands for making a choice and following up and never giving up until you see that choice through. And so Will Smith gives us an example of how he believes he can create anything by studying it, by learning it, by being relentless in it. But it all starts with a choice. You have to make a choice to improve you so that you can improve your life and those around you. And it's possible. Have a great morning, everyone.
All right, there are very concrete habits that you can use, that I have used. Once you get your mind in the right place, once you believe that it can happen, this is what I did. I worked out. Why? Because it helped me gain control of my mind. One, it was micro credibility with myself every day. I said I was going to do something, I did it. Two, when you're suffering and you're willing to fight through it, you tell yourself a story that you're willing to pay the price to become what you want to become. And also, and this may be the most important reason each and every one of you should start working out, and it has nothing to do with living longer, because we could get hit by a meteorite, who knows? So I'm not even worried about that, but I am worried about this. When you watch your body transform, you get the loudest signal from your subconscious that you can change. That you can change anything you want, that you can change your bicep, your tricep, your quad, whatever it is that you want. Something that you literally could not do the day before, you can do today. And your mind sees that that's true. Your mind sees that something you couldn't pick up yesterday, you can pick up today. And it begins to ask itself, well, if that's possible, then what else is possible? Now, for me, finding my center was also a very important thing. So I work out first. The next thing I do without fail is meditate. I do a just breathe meditation where I'm simply trying to calm my mind. Then I do what I call thinkitating. During meditating, I get into an alpha wave state brain pattern, which enhances creativity and unique connections. I'm not worried about whether I'll ever think a unique thought. I am simply interested in the unique connections that I will make that no one else before me or after me will ever make, because their circumstances are different than mine. And that, to me, is what makes each of us a beautiful snowflake, is we're all going to make connections that other people might not make. And so during thinkitating, I take advantage of a problem I'm trying to solve. I smash it together with my alpha wave state, and I see what comes out of it. I read obsessively, because I believe in one simple math equation: ideas in equal ideas out. And then I keep a list of the most important things I'm trying to accomplish. If you're trying to become something, you need to know what that something is.
You are what you consistently do. The difference between where you are right now and where you want to be is what are you consistently doing every single day. Your habits will determine your ultimate success. One of the reasons why I've had so much success on YouTube is because I just keep making videos. It's a habit. It's burned into my calendar. Every week I am making videos. I film. I'm here making this content for you guys now. I'm making more videos, more videos, more videos, more videos. It's consistently been a part of my routine for over a decade. If you do something every single week or more frequent for a decade, you're gonna get some serious results. You'd have to be just absolutely terrible to not get any results if you are doing something every single week or more frequently for a decade. Most people don't want to put in the work, and I get it, and that can be frustrating. It can be slow. We want the instant results, and it's hard to shift the identity, your identity, at the beginning, because your habits of not doing something or your current habits that you are doing are stronger than the new habit that you're trying to build. So for me, not to make a video would be so foreign, so weird. I've made videos through all sorts of crisis and tragedies and injuries. The only time when I didn't make videos was when my dog died. When my family dog died, it was on video day, and I just couldn't bring myself to making the videos. This was the only week where I like 0, I can't do it. We have to do something else. But I've made videos through vacations. I've made videos through breaking my neck. I've made videos through everything, every tragedy that's happened, every negative, every stress, every frustration. I've found a way to make videos. It's so a part of me now, not because I'm superhuman or extra special, just because I put the repetition in. Now, a new habit that I'm trying to build is swimming. The pool just opened back up in my place, and I've gone swimming every day for the past 2 weeks, week and a half. I've been going swimming, and it's so fun. It's so freeing. I go for my swim. I could only do 20 lengths of the pool. Now I'm up to 40, and I'm getting better at it. And I just feel so good. You swim, you have a shower, and then like, oh, my body feels amazing right now. But it's still a new habit, right? I'm still trying to develop it. If I were to go and fly to a speaking gig and then come back, I would have to force myself to get back into, swimming. That's what I'm supposed to do in the morning. I got to go swimming. Right. I'd have to set up reminders, have to put it in my calendar. But making videos is so ingrained because it's lasted so long as I've done it. It feels super weird. If I left YouTube or sold my channel or whatever, like, what do I do now? I don't even know what to do anymore because making videos has become part of my identity. You too can change your identity. You too can start to develop the habits that will help take you to accomplishing your goals. I want to give 3 quick tips that I think will help you. Step number 1 is to get really clear on what the habit is that you want to develop. Don't pick 20 different habits that you would want to do all at once. This is where we struggle because we take on way too much. Like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm rolling up my sleeves. It's time to change my life. I've had it. I've had enough. I'm going to change everything. I'm going to work out, and I'm going to eat well, and I'm going to make content. I'm going to grow my business. I'm going to find a girlfriend. I'm going to, like, whatever the thing is, you come with 20 different habits that you're going to do. And guess what? You do it tomorrow, maybe, and then it becomes too overwhelming, too much change all at once. Your life just takes over and you end up back down in the hole where you started. Has that happened? Have you tried to take on too much at once? What is the single most important habit that you need to start to build? That if you look back in a year, you could say, I'm so happy that I built this one habit because it's helping you accomplish your goals. What is the most important habit? It could be waking up at a certain time. It could be taking care of your mind. It could be taking care of your body. It could be putting in a certain amount of work on your business. It could be writing your book. It could be making 100 videos. Like, what is the one habit that you want to start to build that if that one thing happened, your entire life starts to change? It's the cornerstone habit. That you start doing that, because I guarantee you, listen, if you start waking up at a certain time, or you start working out, you can pick any of them. You start doing one of those things that you're proud of yourself for doing it. Other things start to change in your life around you. Because when you feel really proud of yourself, when you feel good about yourself, other things start to improve too. Because if you were, say your goal is to make 100 videos next year. Okay, so every 3 days you're making a video. And that's impossible. You've never done that, and that sounds crazy, and it's way too big. And then you start to do it. You start to actually build the momentum. You start to actually make the content. You say, like, okay, well, what else can I do? You know what? I want to start working on my health. It's just going to happen naturally. You want to find a relationship, people will gravitate towards you because now all of a sudden you're a lot more confident, a lot more proud. That's magnetic energy that people want to be around. So you pick the one habit that you want to stay consistent on. And then you start doing that work, not being stressed out about having too many habits all at once and the whole thing fails. Okay? Step number 2, you have to schedule it. You have to put it in your calendar. Schedule it. It will not just happen. These videos are happening for me right now. It's in my schedule. I booked time for it. I have swimming in my schedule. That's even more important in my calendar. So today at 5 o'clock, I'm going to go swimming. It's in my calendar. I booked it because otherwise other stuff could come in. Maybe I get on a roll on making videos, or maybe somebody messages me and I have to deal with it. Something else will always come up. Something else will always come up, right? Stuff always comes up. And we let that be an excuse for you not to take action. You block it off. You put it in your calendar. Show yourself when, right? Which day of the week are you actually going to be doing this thing? Or which time of day are you actually going to be doing this thing? And start to teach yourself that this gets done. That when you Put less things in your calendar, right? Put less things in your calendar and make sure that they get done, because you can put stuff in you. How many times have you put stuff in your calendar and then it didn't get done? Right? Does that happen to you? Don't worry about that. Less things in your calendar. But when you put it in, it gets done. Again, this is building the identity. It's you starting to trust yourself that when you say something's going to happen, that it happens, and not just happens one-off, but it happens consistently. So if you've got holidays coming up or vacation coming up, and your goal is still to do videos or swimming or write a page for your book or whatever it is that is part of your goals, plan your calendar. Show yourself what time. Okay, you know you're traveling tomorrow. Okay, are you going to do it before you travel? You're going to do it while you're on the plane? You're going to do it when you land in the city? And what's realistic? Are you going to be doing a 16-hour flight with 2 stopovers and then be exhausted when you land, and that's when you're going to do your workout? Right? Like, maybe work out in the morning. Like, just think about your day that's coming ahead of you and schedule that thing in. Because again, when you can stay consistent on it, that's when everything starts to change. And then number 3 is get a community. Doing something difficult and doing something brand new is really, really, really hard to do by yourself. It's not impossible. It's not that you can't do it, but we are community people. Like, humans are, even me, who's introverted and shy and I don't need a lot of friends, it's always more fun doing something with somebody. Knowing that tonight at 5, Nina's going swimming with me, I'm more likely to show up because Nina's there too. It's going to be a lot more fun because Nina's there too. Get somebody to be an accountability partner for you. Join a Discord group or a Facebook group that are talking about these things, so that you don't feel like you're the only person going through this. Because when you have a down day, when you have a bad moment, when you're tired, when you had a rough sleep, when you got terrible news, it's easy to fall right back down to the habits that you've been consistently working on, the negative habits you've been building up over your lifetime, instead of defaulting back to the positive ones that you want to start to build. The difference between where you are right now and where you want to be are the habits you consistently do. You are what you consistently do. You eat 1 chocolate bar, it's fine, as long as you're consistently eating really well. But if you eat really well only one day and you're eating chocolate bars every day, then guess what's going to happen to your health? You are what you consistently do, and you can change it. You can change it. Where you are right now does not have to be where you are in 1 year if you put the habits in place, if you consistently schedule them in, and you get a community to help you so you're not doing this alone. Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Good afternoon, guys. Making choices is the most powerful thing we've been gifted to be able to do. And it all originates with our thoughts, our mindset. What is taking place in our mind in terms of what thought energies we're allowing into our mind, and then what we do with those energies. So think about it very carefully. What is it that you are thinking and then saying? Because what you say is really a symbol of what you're thinking. So once we understand that power, and once we understand how every decision or every thought impacts everything around us, once we take responsibility of that, we become really empowered to make those decisions that are going to improve our life. So remember that your choice, making a choice in itself and being decisive, will put you on that path to becoming your true great self. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
if the person's doing the vision board and they're saying, when I get my new car, I get my new house, I get my new relationship, then I'm going to feel so great. Well, then they're back to the program, waiting for it to happen for them to feel the emotion. They're believing their outer world has to change in order for them to feel better. There's no effect of drawing the experience to you with that way. So the person has to use those tools to get them into the emotional state for them to feel like it's already happened. Now think about this. If you get up from a creative process and you feel grateful, you feel a love for life, you feel a joy for existence, you feel a passion for the moment, you will not be looking for your future because you'll feel like it's already happened. It's the moment that we start feeling those self-limiting emotions that we feel separation, and then we start looking for it again. And well, then if you're waiting, you're not creating, you're in separation again. So then whatever it takes for you to move into a state of being. And what is a state of being? Thoughts are the vocabulary of the brain. Feelings are the vocabulary of your body. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So then if you wake up in the morning and you come back to your senses with a clean slate and you say, I don't feel anything, and you say, well, let me start thinking about all the problems in my life. Well, all those problems are connected to different people or different objects or things at different times and places. The moment you remember your problems, a memory is a record of the past. You're thinking in the past. Every one of those problems has an emotion associated with them. So all of a sudden you start feeling unhappy, you start feeling bitter, you start feeling frustrated. So now your body's in the past. So then most people then create a state of being that's connected to their past. And if they're in the familiar past, then they are going to crave the predictable future and they're going to fall back into routine. So then we want people then to get very clear on that vision of their future, however they do it, and begin to combine that clear intention with an elevated emotion. And the stronger the emotion they feel from the vision they're creating, the more altered they feel inside of them, the more they're going to pay attention to the pictures in their mind. And now they're remembering their future. And biologically, it's exactly the same as remembering your past. In fact, if you're not being defined by a vision in the future, it means you're making your past more real than your future. You're falling in love with your past. You're more in love with your past than you are with your future. That you're believing in your past more than you're believing in your future. When you get to that moment where you have that feeling, that's your compass, because that feeling is going to drive your behaviors. It's going to drive more of those thoughts. And when you feel that feeling and it's visceral, no person, no thing, no experience will stand in the way between you and that vision. And you will be initiated by the universe into wealth. You will be initiated into health. You'll be initiated into freedom. Those people, all those people that have healed themselves of all those different health conditions, they are so humble and so happy, and they feel so great that they would never trade this feeling because of what you thought of them. They've left that program behind a long time ago. They actually don't care how you think of them. They actually are so happy with themselves that they're no longer dependent on anything outside of them. Now, I think that's a really important moment, because that's the moment we give people permission in our lives to do the same, right? And I think that more and more people are beginning to figure that out.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know you've got more inside you. You've got Michael Jordan level genius at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn some law of attraction secrets and how you can use it. Enjoy. Secret number 2 is change the program with Bruce Lipton.
When you're putting in a wish and a desire, put it in as if you already have it. I am healthy. I am a good relationship person. I have a great job. What's that? I say, it's like I already have it. And yet most people don't have it. So they'll say, I want a great job. I want a great relationship. I want to be healthy. And I go, make a recording of those words. We just said that. I want to be healthy. Today, right now, Tuesday. We're going to make a recording. I say, now come back in 1 year and let's push the button on that recording. And we come back a year later and it says, I want to be healthy. I go, it's a whole year and you still want to be healthy.
Still don't have it right.
You didn't say I am healthy. All you're emphasizing, I have a desire to be healthy. I want to be healthy. I have a desire to be healthy. I go, you can have that desire the rest of your life. You're not going to get healthy. You want to be healthy, you say, I am healthy. But then you look and say, yeah, but in reality, I'm sick. And I go, no. The function of the mind is to take the program and turn it into reality. So if I am sick, but I put a program in, I am healthy, the mind looks, like, well, wait a second. The program is I am healthy, but the body is not healthy. So what's the function of the mind? Create health in the body. It doesn't change the program. It changes the body. And so the idea is this: every time we put a program in, it has to be as if you already have it, in spite of the fact you could be dying of cancer. I go, I am healthy. It sounds kind of weird. And I go, don't worry about it. Just put it on I am healthy, because once it is a program, the function of the mind is to manifest it as reality. That's the part. And so my little caveat, you brought it up, I'm emphasizing it, and that was simply this: that whatever you're downloading, you have to say it as if you already have it. Because if you put a future tense on it, I will, I want, I say, if you record that, that means you will always want to have it. I will do this. You won't get there. So I just wanted to bring that in, because if we're making a program, then you must make sure it says as if you already have it, in spite of the fact you don't.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Secret number 3 is visualize.
When you think a deliberate thought of what you want, then law of attraction will employ the universe and all people, circumstances, and events to move you to what you've asked for, and to move what you've asked for to you. And so if you think about that, there is just action would be really, really hard for you to reach all of the people, circumstances, and events, manipulate all of them to receive what you want. And if you really reflect well on your life and things that have happened in your life, you'll kind of see that actually that happened for me. All I did was move to here, or all I did was move to there, and I received what I wanted. Thought creates all of the appearances in the world, and thought creates everything in your life. So it's pretty darn powerful, right? And what you think about is what you get. What you focus on is what will manifest in your life. And everyone is manifesting their day every single day. We're doing it. We are not aware, of course, necessarily of thoughts, but thoughts come, we energize them, and then they will manifest, unless we cancel that thought out with another thought, with a thought that contradicts it. But I remember Lester Levinson would say, every single thought manifests. And I just thought that was incredible. I had known the secret for years and years and years. And Lester Levinson was a real master. And he said every single thought manifests. And I was just, wow, that's how powerful they are. So thoughts are your superpower. To be, do, and have what you want to experience and have and do in your life. And so if you ask an athlete, or if you talk to a coach, a really brilliant coach, right, of a sports team, then you will find that visualization and these principles that I'm talking about are a big part of their training. They have to see themselves winning the game. They have to see themselves winning the match. There is a really incredible tennis player that's a very big fan, a champion tennis player that's a really big fan of The Secret, who uses The Secret. This is what he does. He sees that he has won the match before he walks out onto that court. And it's the same for teams. It's the same for athletes in the Olympic Games, running a race and seeing that they've won. Yes, they run the race, but what has them win the race is that they saw themselves winning before they even got on the starting block. And they saw it and believed it and felt it. And so they just, everything lined up for them in the perfect way. They drew the perfect lane. Everybody else was moved in exactly the right position, and they got a really great start and they won the race. And so thought is just so powerful. So athletes, but also, do you know, the astronauts in the Apollo program did visualization before they went to the moon, and they visualized landing back on Earth safely. And so that's how important visualization is. Just thought in pictures, by the way. It's still thought. It's just the same thing, okay? It's just thought in pictures. So if you took a person who had zero resistance and you locked them in a room, if you took a person that had zero resistance, that person thought about what they wanted, zero resistance, locked them in a room, what they wanted will come to them. The universe will move people, circumstances, and events and bring that right to them. It absolutely must. Because if you have no resistance, you have unleashed a law that just cannot be stopped. And so you will manifest. It will come to you.
Secret number 4 is pay attention to the right things with Dave Meltzer.
I saw The Secret a year ago. I was not someone who believed in I didn't understand the ability to manifest. I had never heard conceptually about that. So for me, I was just exposed to this a year ago, and I thought there's nothing I can lose here by writing down what I'd like to manifest and then taking it to the next level and then trace it and then speak it into existence. And learning about, opening your mind to learn about all these things has a domino effect. Wouldn't you agree that you start finding yourself having contact with other people who are masters in this or experts in this?
Well, that's because there's a mathematical formula to this that I try to break things down to a really simplistic level. So what we pay attention to, and then we give it intention, creates the coincidences in our lives. And coinciding is a mathematical term to me. It's not an accident. It's two things that are perfectly coming together at a perfect time, the right way at a perfect time. So I'm very cognizant of what I pay attention to and the intention I give it so that I get the coincidences that I want in my life. And it really works as a mathematical equation. And I make it a consistent, persistent practice to pay attention to the right things. Now, here's where it takes another level for me is I thought about faith, like I'm going to put faith in this. And that got really confusing because I aggregated what I think, say, do, and believe. And I even started looking at the unconscious competencies, my genetics of personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions, and how all these things were my faith. No religious context at all. Then I met a guy who wrote Atomic Habits, James Clear, and he talked about voting. And I started saying, faith is like voting. I'm just going to vote for what I want. And the biggest mistakes in my life, I'm always voting for what other people want for me. And then I'm pissed off when I get it. And I'm resentful when I get it. And I'm just very hard now. I know what I'm voting for, and I know it's going to be elected into my life. And so I keep voting for what I want. And if my mind tells me something that I don't want, I don't vote for it. And I see so many people voting for what they don't want and then really upset or resentful or offended when they get it, or even surprised. And so I think all of these things combined to voting is what I'm paying attention to, the intentions, the action, right? So it's not just paying attention and saying, I want this, or thinking about it. It's actually get off your butt. Don't sit at home high on your mom's couch sick. Do something about it. Be efficient, effective, productive, and accessible. We were talking earlier, I heard you, Dave doesn't like busy. No, I hate busy. Busy means unaccessible. I'm active. I have activity I get paid for, activity I don't get paid for. I'm productive and accessible. I provide value, and I'm accessible to what I want and accessible to others.
Secret number 5 is surrender with Gabrielle Bernstein.
When we stop expecting things to be the way that we think they should be, when we stop forcing outcomes, and when we start allowing what is of the highest good to be our only agenda, our only intention, that's when the universe truly has our back. That's when we can live what it means to surrender. True surrender comes when we stop praying for what we think we need and we start connecting and grounding in what could possibly be of the highest good for all. And when we stop praying for what we think we need and we start allowing what is of the highest good for all. So true manifesting is about receiving what is of the highest good for all. And it begins not just with how will I get what is of the highest good, but how can I be open to what is of the highest good? How can I open up my consciousness to release what I think I need and get grounded in what is possible and what is of the highest good, not just for me and my agenda, but the highest good for all. That's the message. So you're doing everything right in that you're open to a spiritual practice, you're willing to grow, you're showing up for your practice, you're reading books, you're doing the work, you're here on Dear Gabby, you're showing up, you're showing up, you're showing up. You're doing a lot of doing though, and you're also doing a lot of expecting. And so a lot of doing and a lot of expecting are two major blocks to your ability to attract what it is that you want into your life. And so it's the doing that actually creates sort of a manic manifesting vibration, which is, how do I get that? What do I do next? Got to do this thing next, got to do this thing next. And that lacks the belief system that I can be still and I can allow. That's number one. Number two, being in the expectation of what you think things should be is another block to your manifesting power, your super attractor power, which is what I call it, because your expectations are limiting the possibilities. Your expectations are limiting the highest good, as this card says. So when we start to pray for what is of the highest good, rather than intend and pray for what we think we need, that's when the universe can conspire with what it is that is of the highest good for all. So ultimately what's happening is all the doing is energetically blocking. And all the expecting is blocking the manifestation as well, because when you're in this tunnel vision of expectation, it should be this way. I should be further along. I shouldn't be here. What's happening is you're missing the opportunity to recognize where you are, how great things are in this moment, what is possible in this moment, the creative possibility in this moment, the exciting potential in this moment. You're blocking it. I want you to sit on your ass. I want you to stop doing. I want you to start being, which is what you also said. You're actually Dear Gabbying yourself. You said, I want to embody the feeling. I want to embody the emotion. The being is a presence. It's an energy. It's a state. It's not an action. True manifesting does require us to show up for our desires. You got to pick up the phone and then call the job interview, and you have to ask for the date, and you have to do whatever it is that you want to create. But ultimately, the greatest source of power that we have to attract what we want is how we feel.
And secret number 6, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is study the law with Bob Proctor.
I want to explain something to you that not many people really understand. I want to talk about the law of attraction. Do you know that the law of attraction is always working? It's like the law of gravity. If I let this go, it's going to go down. It's never going to go back up. It's going to go down. That is the law of gravity. Anything heavier than Earth is attracted towards the center of the world. Well, the law of attraction is always working. Now, how does it work? Well, I use a diagram to explain the mind. Now let this circle represent your mind. And let this little circle here represent your body. Now I want you to think of this for a moment. Your body is a molecular structure. This is a massive energy and a very high speed of vibration. If you looked at your body through a microscope, you'd see that energy dancing right before your eyes. And here's something that'll keep you thinking for the next 20 years. When you move out of it, the body does not stop moving. If you go to a funeral parlor and pick up the remains and look at it, you will see it moving. And if it wasn't moving, how would it ever change to dust? You move into your body and you will move out. And it's how you use your mind that's going to dictate the vibration you're in. Now stay with me. You have an imaginary line right across here, and that separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind has been programmed. When you were a little baby, this is the way it was. So just like this, subconscious mind wide open, and everything that was going on around it went right in there. And all the energy that went in there when you were just a little baby formed something called a paradigm. Now, a paradigm is information. It's a multitude of habits. You are the product of your environment, but prior to that, you were the product of a genetic strain that goes back for generations. Now, I'm going to say that the paradigm is X-type energy. Now, you've got the ability here on a conscious level to think, and you can think anything you want to think. And as you think, you build ideas. There's a power that's flowing into your consciousness. It never stops. It flows to and through you. You can actually photograph this power leaving you. It flows to and through you. Now, as it flows in, you will start thinking, and you'll probably think X-type thoughts. Therefore, you're going to be in an X-type vibration, and that will produce X-type results. Now, it's the results you want to change. And to change the results, you're going to have to change what you attract. You see, the thoughts that you think control the vibration that you're in. Vibration is nothing but an idea. It's a law of the universe. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. We live in an ocean of motion. And it's the thoughts that you're thinking that you impress upon your subconscious mind that control the vibration the body's in. And that dictates how you act, but it also dictates what you attract. You attract energy that's in harmony with you. You attract people that are in harmony with you. You see, everything operates on frequencies. There's an infinite number of frequencies, but you and I operate on a frequency just like a radio station does. And the only music you can attract is the music that is tuned into the vibration you're in. Now, it's the paradigm that has been controlling the vibration. You can change your thinking, but that doesn't do anything. You got to change the paradigm. And if you don't change the paradigm, nothing happens. Now, talking about paradigms is another subject. We'll do that at another time. But it's the thoughts that you think that control the vibration you're in, and that dictates what you attract. So if you keep attracting what you don't want, understand this. It's the paradigm that's causing the problem. You can think a Y-type thought, which is totally different than the X-type conditioning. It isn't going to go anywhere. Because when you go to get emotionally involved, and this is the emotional mind, when you go to get emotionally involved with that Y-type thought, the paradigm will kick it out. You know why? It's so uncomfortable. That's stepping out of the box. That's doing things different. And we don't like to do things different because it causes a lot of discomfort. But understand this. The paradigm and the thinking control the vibration you're in. And the vibration you're in is going to dictate what you attract. People that are in a poverty consciousness will continue to attract lack and limitation. It has nothing to do with this, what's going on here. This is your educated mind, and you could gather all kinds of information. Have you ever wondered why some people have such an educated mind? They have degrees coming right off the end of their business card, but it doesn't show up in their results. Why? Paradigm. The law of attraction. You've got to change this. You've got to change the vibration you're in, and your whole world changes. Listen, in 1961, a man gave me this book, and he said, do exactly what I tell you. He was giving me Y-type ideas. It caused an enormous amount of discomfort, but I did exactly what he said. And you know something? My income went from $4,000 to $175,000 a year, and then I took it over $1 million. It took me 9.5 years to figure out what happened. This is what I'm showing you. Watch this over and over and over again. There's a number of lessons in here.
Good evening, guys. I want to share with you a personal example of my path to living, laughing, and loving my way to infinite mind wealth. And this comes from my eldest daughter, who reminded me of some of the things that we often talk about. And as you know, I'm very passionate about developing my mind and helping people do the same for themselves. And I was feeling a little bit insecure. There was, I think my daughter had made a comment on social media on one of my postings. And, I jokingly said to her, half jokingly, but half of it was, vulnerable and insecurities on my end. I said to my daughter, you didn't say it to daddy that you loved him. You said it to mommy, but not to daddy. And then she just looked at me and said, Daddy, the thing that you always talk about that you remind me of? What are you thinking, Daddy? You know how I feel about you. And then so I realized she's right. I got to take my own advice. So thank you, sweetie. Have a great evening, everyone.
One thing that I've done since I was 25 years old is learn how to set goals, put them in place, and then manifest them over periods of time in my lifetime. If you go back and listen to the Rules of Success, that I shot that show in, I think I was 36 years old in La Jolla, California. I was living on the ocean then, and you can go back to that. You can look in the 10X rule. When I wrote the 10X rule, I shared a bunch of goals. That was 11 years ago. You can see over the last 25 years, every single goal that I have set for myself, up to this point anyway, I have been able to achieve. My wife, my 2 beautiful kids, the condition that my body's in today, my finances, the real estate, all of it started with goals. All of it started with the idea that was in my mind and had not yet been manifested in reality. I heard a saying once, Barbara Streisand said that there was not one thing in her career that she had accomplished. Tips on writing goals. Number 1, write them down every day. In fact, what I do is I write mine down on a blank sheet of paper. I write them down in the AM, I write them down in the PM, and I also write them down anytime I'm disappointed or discouraged. Okay, so I could actually write my goals down more than twice a day. Always in the AM, always in the PM. First thing I do in the morning, first thing I did today was I wrote my goals down. Second thing, what I'll do before I go to sleep tonight is write my goals down. It could be on the same legal pad. Second thing, I write them down in present tense, in PT. Present tense or even past tense or past, okay? So I may write it as though I have accomplished it. What you don't want to do is write it down, one day I will love my job, okay? You want to write down, I love my job. Even if you hate your job right now, just like flip it, I love my job, okay? I love my wife and kids. I didn't have a wife and kids. My kids love me. I didn't have any children, okay? I wrote it down as though it was happening. Okay, write your goals down whether or not you're achieving them or not. It doesn't matter that you're achieving them, okay? This is gonna sound a bit like you're deceiving yourself, which is what you're doing. You're writing down the future as though it's happening today and or has happened. Number 4, strongly suggest that you go 10 times bigger on your goals than you think what is accomplishable. Okay, I say go big or go bigger, baby. Okay, go bigger, go bigger. There is nothing wrong with big think. It doesn't cost anything, okay? You can't get taxed for thinking big. And it's not just, okay, I'm gonna dream big and big things are gonna happen, okay? I am going to write down, hey, I'm trying to achieve X in my life. I'm trying to go from here to 10 times bigger than I can think. Okay, during the day, I'm going to take the actions that support that when I write this down every day. Number 5, do not be disappointed in not achieving, just keep writing. Just because you're not hitting it, just keep writing it. I wrote down off and on from time to time, I wrote down for years.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, get rid of poverty mindset.
My dad worked his ass off, and when he died, he did good. My mom had to sell everything. And so I'm like, okay, that didn't work. But he was considered successful, the middle class successful, briefcase, good job, professional, people respected him, saved his money, had life insurance, house was paid for, everything by the book. And she was unloading stuff the next week because she was terrified. And so from the age of 10 to like 16, 17 years old, we were just scared, dude. Clipping coupons, buying everything on sale, single mother. Everywhere she goes, she knows they're going to rip her off. The plumber, the roofer, the car dealer, everybody's going to rip her off.
Right.
So she thought. Save your money, save for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, a penny saved is,
Right.
Yeah.
A penny earned. It's
Yeah.
not.
it's a penny.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a penny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a penny, dude.
Yes.
You won't even pick a penny up today.
You ain't with a penny.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know, 50 cent?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's 50 pennies.
yeah.
Rule number 3, take a long-term view.
The third thing I would say about wealthy people is different people have different ways they invest, but they tend to be more focused on the long-term appreciation of an asset rather than give me money this second. And I think they're not stuck in this get rich quick thing.
It's a delayed gratification.
Yeah, they're more like, I'd rather have wealth tomorrow than rich today. And they do have a distinction between the rich and the wealthy. The super wealthy are looking to create wealth beyond their own means and needs. Like they're not thinking about their kids, their boat, their plane. I know people think that, but that's not actually true. They're actually thinking about how do I create wealth for a lot of people. Amazon's got 1 million employees.
Yeah.
Now, most of them only earn minimum wage, but there's some people at the upper level of Amazon that are making fortunes.
Rule number 4, strive for success.
Success is vital. Maybe you've heard me say this before. It's worth writing down again. Success is your duty. It is your obligation and your responsibility. Success to me is as vital to my survival as oxygen, food, and water. Shelter. I got to have shelter. I got to have water. I have to have oxygen. I need food, okay? I need love in my life, okay? I need people. I need human interaction, and I also need to win. If you don't have success in your life, you will lose discipline, you will lose activity, you will lose contacts, and you will not be consistent. You will not have them. This is the vital part of success. This is why I'm pounding to you. The only trick in this universe, if there is a trick at all, is you must be successful. Success is not an option. It is your duty. It is your obligation. It is your responsibility. 2022, if it's going to be good for you and your family, if it's going to be great for you and your family, it is because you demand success this year. And that means you demand success in your relationships, in your finances, and in your money and in your business.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, invest your money.
What should you do with your money?
Well, like saving money in a bank account is ridiculous. The only people that benefit is the bank.
So wait, what do you do with the money then?
You use money. First thing people should invest in is themselves. Like,
Best thing is people hear that and they go, what does that mean though? What do I do with the money?
Go to workshops, go to seminars, go to whatever you're good at, whatever you're doing. You're an astronaut, invest in yourself. If you're an athlete, invest in yourself. Don't spend money on belts.
Yeah.
And looking good. Like invest in your craft. You're a comedian, invest in your craft. And that means investing in your skills, coach, whatever, podcasts, whatever needs to get you known, right? And then also in your branding and your marketing. Like people have to know you, no matter how good you are. If I don't know you, it doesn't matter.
Right. So you got to get out there.
Yeah. How did you guys run into me?
How'd I run into you?
Yeah. How'd you find out about me?
Instagram.
Good. I invested a lot of money making sure that people see that Instagram account, right?
Right.
So, or energy, money and energy.
Right.
So invest in yourself first to become great at whatever you're doing. Number 2, start investing in your business if you hadn't done that already. And the third thing is start investing in things that'll pay you every month. So you buy a flow of income.
Rule number 6, have the right contacts.
This idea that it takes money to make money is not true. It's a myth. It's the number one reason why I did the show, the Discovery Show, to debunk that on TV, that I didn't need any money at all. They offered me $100. I'm like, just keep it, dude. Like, no, we got to give it to you. It's part of the show. And I'm like, I don't need the 100. They're like, no, but you got to take the 100. It's part of the show. The entire 90 days, I never touched the first 100 they gave me. And this was to prove to people, dude, you do not need money. Like, it's not true you need money. You do need contacts.
You need people. You need relationships.
You need people. You need the right people, though. The right people that are already in play. Okay? Just because a guy's got money. I remember a billionaire friend of mine, he could buy a jet. And I said, hey, Bob, should I buy a jet? He said, you should, I shouldn't. Meaning Grant should, and he's way wealthier than I am. He could have bought 40 of them. He's like, I don't have a place to go in mine. You could use yours every day. So you got to find somebody that's in place, somebody that not just has money, but somebody that wants to do more with their money. So you'll notice in the first 10 days, I don't spend any money. I don't spend money on shelter, not on food, and not on water. Nothing. Then what I do is I end up accumulating assets. And it's unfortunate that the viewer doesn't see this. Within 5 days, I have 2 vehicles. One was given to me by Discovery, and the other one was a $40,000 Jeep that I basically used from Ryan, this guy I met, and told him, I'm going to sell your Jeep. I'm going to drive it around town and put 10 miles a day on it, and I'm going to sell it. Well, that's a $43,000 asset. My truck was worth $4,000. I still had my $100. I lived in a $46,000 RV that I was trying to sell. So,
yeah.
What's the other thing I did? And I picked up $10,000 to do in a 15% partnership in the equity of the upside of this guy's company. So literally in 10 days, I was accumulating contacts that could get me equity. And the important part of that story is, man, go get you some equity. Jay-Z talks about this. You're getting, so many of you young brothers are getting an advance while I'm picking up the equity.
Rule number 7, show up.
Showing up means showing up. It don't mean you got to the office. You understand? It doesn't mean you came to work. For me, showing up means I show up. I've been showing up since I was 25 years old, man. Before that, I wasn't showing up. I was showing off. I was acting a fool, being a fool. High school, I didn't show up. I went to class. I never showed up. My body went in the room. See, showing up doesn't mean you got there. Showing up means you got there, and then you showed up again, and then you showed up again, and then you showed up again. It means you show up for the class, you show up for the homework, you show up for the class, you show up for the homework, you show up for the test, you freaking get a perfect grade. It means you keep showing up to the next level. And I hear a lot of people talking about showing up. Showing up's not everything. Let me tell you something. Showing up, when you show up the right way, Johnny, you got to put your seatbelt on. When you show up the right way, showing up is 100% a success. So you got to keep showing up. Showing up means you're looking for deeper levels to show up, to pay attention. That's what I do every day. Every day I come to work, I'm like, show up, man. Show up for every little problem. Show up for every little opportunity. Show up for every little nuance, little angle, little particle, little movement. That's why I see all this stuff. Why is that not cleaned up? Why is this not cleaned up? What's it? Why did somebody pick that up? Who's that new person here? Hey, you feeling all right today? How many times have I asked you that before? You all right today? I know it's the little things. It's simple. It costs nothing to do this. Show up. It costs you nothing.
It makes all the difference.
And it makes all the difference, man, showing up. You'll see things that no one else sees. And you know, the good news is anybody can do this. You just got to make a commitment to show up.
Rule number 8, surround yourself with success.
The reason the guys on Wall Street and the gals on Wall Street make so much money, okay, is not because they're like capitalists and they're terrible people. It's because they're surrounded by people that are making money, man. They're accountable by their stock price. They're accountable to their production. They got people around them that expect them to win and do well. And also they're going to dinner, waking up at breakfast, working out in the gym with other people that are winning big in life. Okay. So you need feedback from your environment and your network. Fifth thing you need is you got to have a network of people that are encouraging you to kill it. You got to have the right network. You got to have a LeBron in your game, man. If you're playing in the NBA and LeBron's like, I'm gonna take you under my wing, bro. Okay, Kobe's like, hey man, I'm coming back to be with you, man. What, would you deny that? Okay, Michael Jordan, I wanna be with you, man. Mm-hmm. Tiger Woods, I wanna golf with you. Come on, guys, what are you doing? You cannot do this alone. You cannot do this alone. Are you kidding me, man? Let's say you wanna be a surgeon and a top surgeon in the world is like, I wanna take you under my wing. What are you gonna say? I'm too busy.
Rule number 9, be innovative.
If you're reading a book, okay, you're listening to music, going to an event, speaking at an event. Let's say you're speaking at an event and it's the 700th time you did that presentation. You got to show up new again. Johnny comes to work with his camera and we're doing a show today. Johnny needs to show up new, looking for new angles, new colors, you got to show up every day new, folks. You're new, man. You're new. Ladies and gentlemen, you're new. Every day you're new. Or guess what? You're old. Nobody wants old. I don't want to get old. I don't want stale. I don't want yesterdays. I don't want leftovers. I know when somebody's repeating something rote. They're just giving me the same. I don't mind some bullshit, but it's got to be fresh. I need some fresh bullshit. So I don't mind a little bit of bullshit. I just don't want the same thing. Okay, that guy's told that story 1,000 times, and it looks like the 1,000th time. Not in a good way either.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is don't get stuck in mechanics.
Last thing I'm gonna tell you is this, okay? Don't get stuck in mechanics. When I'm writing my goals down, I do not know how I'm going to do it. So I merely sit down. Like I remember for years I would write down, I own a helicopter. I don't even know where this concept came from. I own a helicopter, I own a helicopter, I own a helicopter. Every once in a while it would show up. It would show up on a Wednesday and not show up for when I'm writing my goals down, right? So I'm waking up in the morning, I write my goals down. And one day I write, I own a helicopter. I think back then it was, I learned how to fly a helicopter, okay? It was stupid, it was completely ridiculous. I'm like, where did that come from? It just kind of floated into my mind. I wrote it down. Okay, I own a jet. I'm like, man, I'm just being stupid right now. I own a jet and 2 helicopters. I don't know how that happened. I didn't know anything about jets. I would not achieve any of this, by the way, until I was 54 years old. The first private jet I was ever on was the one we bought. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how they fly. I didn't know how they work. I didn't know what the cost of a hangar was. I know nothing. Don't get lost in the mechanics. I didn't know the fuel cost. I didn't know what it cost to buy one. Do you finance them? Do you pay cash? Do you get a tax rate? I knew nothing when I started writing this down. The helicopter would come after the jet. Okay, I bought a helicopter. I didn't know why. So the point of that story is, when you're writing your goals down, literally sit down with a blank sheet of paper. First thing you wake up in the morning and you just start zip, 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 zip. You write through them. Like this morning I wrote down 40 billion in real estate. Okay, public. I write down one word. I'm going public. See, I know now that this is in present tense and or past tense. I write it in present or past tense. I'm going public. Okay. I wrote down recently a congressional hearing. People are like, what's a congressional hearing? Dude, I'm so big now, they called me into Congress. They're gonna have a congressional hearing. They're gonna drill me, okay? Oh yeah, then I wrote this down, a political office. Now, I don't know why.
I don't know why I'm writing that down. I don't know how to achieve that. I don't know what it would mean. I don't know what it looks like. I don't get stuck in the mechanics. Don't worry about it.
Commit first.
Commit first, man. Just keep committing it, keep fueling it, keep writing it down.